So week one of the fantasy football season, and right now, a lot of things going down, especially in this Baltimore Raven backfield here with the injuries to Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and Justice Hill over the last couple weeks here for the Ravens. So now fantasy owners, I've seen questions and all over the place. People are wondering who you should get for your fantasy team here. So I'm going to break down all these guys on this Raven backfield that have a chance to start, in my opinion, who you should get for fantasy football. So right here, we know they got Tyson Williams, the rookie, right now. Looks like he's the lead back. But also Le'Veon Bell signed earlier this week. And they got Devonta Freeman and Latavius Murray yesterday in deals as the Ravens. So right here, Tyson Williams is the first guy I'm going to talk about. So right now, Tyson Williams, undrafted rookie, free agent in the offseason here, signed with the Ravens. And right now, he's atop of the depth chart after spending all training camp with this Raven team. And this guy's more of a gadget guy and a guy who's not an in-between-the-tackle type of runner. He's more of a third down back. But I think he's definitely going to see a lot of snaps for this Raven team. And right now, he's a must-add in fantasy leagues. His percentage has jumped way up. He's only available right now in 29% of fantasy leagues. And in my opinion, the Ravens, they play on Monday Night Football at the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think Tyson Williams, for this week at least, is going to be the starter. So obviously, if you need a starting running back this week at the flex position, or if you're in a deeper league or whatever the case may be, where Gus Edwards owner, Tyson Williams is a guy to go out there and get. And I wouldn't be surprised, especially in PPR leagues, if he could get double-digit fantasy points in this one. If he gets a few catches, obviously he gets a few carries as well and possibly finds the end zone. So right now, in my opinion, everyone's asking me if they should keep Williams or not. I would go out there and definitely add Williams. I think him and Latavius Murray, most likely the two top guys to get on your fantasy roster out of this backfield. So right now, Williams, he's been picked up in a bunch of leagues, but it's not too late to go out there and get him. Still available in 29% of leagues, and I think he'll be the lead back, at least for this week here at the Raiders. The next running back's Le'Veon Bell, that signed last week to the practice squad. And right now, I'm assuming he's going to get called up today. No official word yet that he is, but reports came out before the Gus Edwards injury in practice that Bell's most likely going to get called up here. So right now, Le'Veon Bell, he's owned in 54% of fantasy leagues, and he's another guy I'm definitely going to go out there and try to get on my roster. I think he's going to get some time. He's going to play, and I think he actually could fit this Baltimore Raven offense with a lot of runs out of the pistol and the shotgun and a lot of flip plays and stuff. Lamar Jackson, this is the type of running back he likes in his system here. A guy who could catch the ball out of the backfield, even though we know last season Le'Veon Bell was a shell of himself. Also a guy who can make cuts, make a few plays here. And I think that's what Bell could do in this offense. Hopefully Bell, he got back to speed, because last season and the season before that, he just hasn't looked like the same Le'Veon we saw in his Pittsburgh days. But right now that he's only owned in 54% of fantasy leagues, I think is a problem. So right now, if he's out there in your league, you definitely go out there and try to get Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion, because I think he's going to get the carries, and I think we're going to see Tyson Williams on third downs right now. And I think for this week, at least only, Le'Veon Bell's got a better chance of getting more of a workload and picking up the playbook, because he's been in a few practices with the practice squad, and obviously the main roster as well at the practices than Latavius Murray, who they just brought in last night, supposedly, even though I think today it'll be official, the deal. But all signs are leading to Murray signing here with the Baltimore Ravens. So if you haven't checked that video out about Murray just by himself, go check it out and see my thoughts on him going here. Now the next running back, Latavius Murray, who signed supposedly last night or finalizing a deal. And right now, Murray, he's available in a worldwide amount of fantasy leagues. It's 66% right now is Murray. Murray, I don't think he's going to be ready by week one. Even if he comes in here today, it only gives him 2 or 3 days to learn the playbook and get things going. So as a week one running back for this Raven team, no way I'm going to go out there and put him in my starting lineup. I'm definitely going to go out there, though, and pick him up on my fantasy team. So right here, if I'm out there looking for a running back, all three of these guys so far that I mentioned, Tyson Williams, Le'Veon Bell, and Latavius Murray, are guys to go out there and get. Murray, he's probably in the better shape of the Bell and Devonta Freemans over here, because Murray, he was in all the training camp with the New Orleans Saints, and the only reason the Saints cut him is because he didn't want to take a pay cut. And why would he? This guy's been running the football well the last couple seasons as a change of pace and backup running back to Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. Last season, 146 rush attempts, 656 yards, 4 touchdowns, 23 catches for 176 yards, and a touchdown. So Murray, he still had it. He still had juice. He looked good in that Saint offense, and he's another guy that definitely could fit this mold here for this Baltimore Raven offense. Not really as a pass catcher, but as a guy who's going to run in between the tackles. So I think he probably will be the favorite once he's up to speed with the playbook and everything as the early down back. If Le'Veon Bell doesn't show anything, which I think Bell could bounce back here and play a lot on Monday Night Football. But right here, Latavius Murray, he's a definite add. And in my opinion, he's going to be the leader in that backfield when it's all said and done, unless Bell turns back the clock. And on to Devonta Freeman, who signed the deal earlier yesterday before they signed Latavius Murray. Devonta Freeman, he signed to the practice squad. And right now, who knows if he's going to get called up. So right now, fantasy owners, in my opinion, they shouldn't rush to their waiver wire and pick up Devonta Freeman. Freeman, I saw a few owners in my league go out there and get him. But right now, I don't think he's worth an ad. He's only owned in 11% of fantasy leagues, so he's out there in 89%. But right now, he's fourth in the pecking order, in my opinion, is Freeman. But it's good to have a veteran on the practice squad. Or unless the Ravens, they're going to carry 4 or 5 running backs. They got Trent Cannon as well, but he's more of a special teamer guy and a guy that's not really going to come in there and get carries. So right now, Devonta Freeman, out of the 4 backs in this backfield, is the guy to keep on the waiver wire and free agency unless more injuries go down. But the way it's gone down here for the Ravens, a running back has gone down every other day, it seems like, over the last couple weeks for this roster. So right now, Freeman, leave him on the free agent list. So in conclusion here, if I had to put it in order right now, I think I would go Latavius Murray as an ad, Le'Veon Bell, and then Tyson Williams as the rest of the season goes on. But for this week only, I would go Tyson Williams, Le'Veon Bell, and Latavius Murray as prioritized ads for this week, because I think Tyson Williams is going to lead the backfield this week, like I mentioned, because he knows the playbook. He's been there all the training camp. Bell's got a few practices under his belt. And nowadays, every team has 2 running backs at committee. So I could see Bell getting some work in this game in Vegas. And then for Latavius Murray, he's probably not going to be active this week. He's got to get up to speed, take a physical, and get there and stuff. But you still got to add him on your wire, because I think when it's all said and done, the lead back with the most touches in this Baltimore offense. So that's the breakdown of the Baltimore Ravens running back position after all the injuries and the few signings they made. And we'll see what happens with this Raven offense and running backs going forward in the next couple weeks here as we enter week 1 of the season.